Dentists recommend a variety.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wang, for that.
Afternoon.
Dentists recommend a variety of treatments to patients, but every patient is different. With the available information from social media and other interactive sources, information on proper oral health care are usually misperceived. A lot of dental myths have been passed on to many generations. Social media platforms also contribute to the propagation of misinformation that lead to unintended oral health issues. To set the record straight and debunk those common myths and misconceptions, this afternoon's speaker is a graduate of Doctor of Dental Medicine at the Centro Escolar University. She took her residency training in pediatric dentistry at the Pediatric Dentistry Center Philippines in Banawe, Quezon City. She is a past president of the Philippine Dental Association San Juan City chapter, a member of the PDA Speakers Bureau, and has guested in various speaking engagements and different local chapter seminars, including television and radio guesting. She recently participated in a collaborative project of the PDA San Juan City chapter with the Department of Education to promote oral health awareness in elementary and high school students of San Juan City. Without further ado, may I call on Dr. Jean Maricino Martinez. Dentists recommend a variety of treatments to patients, but every patient is different. With the available information from social media and other interactive sources, information on proper oral health care are usually misperceived. A lot of dental myths have been passed on to many generations. Social media platforms also contribute
to all the distinguished pediatric dentists from Luzon down to the Visayas and Mindanao. It is really an honor for us to be invited in this convention. I would like to thank the organizers
Dentists recommend a variety of treatments to patients, but every patient is different. With the available information from social media and other interactive sources, information on proper oral health care are usually misperceived. A lot of dental myths have been passed on to many generations. Social media platforms also contribute to the propagation of misinformation that lead to unintended oral health issues. To set the record straight and debunk those common myths and misconceptions, this afternoon's speaker is a graduate of Doctor of Dental Medicine at the Centro Escolar University. She took her residency training in pediatric dentistry at the Pediatric Dentistry Center Philippines in Banawe, Quezon City. She is a past president of the Philippine Dental Association San Juan City chapter, a member of the PDA Speakers Bureau, and has guested in various speaking engagements and different local chapter seminars, including television and radio guesting. She recently participated in a collaborative project of the PDA San Juan City chapter with the Department of Education to promote oral health awareness in elementary and high school students of San Juan City. Without further ado, may I call on Dr. Jean Maricino Martinez.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wang, for that nice introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. John Marie Sino Martinez. And first and foremost, I'd like to thank PPDSI, the Philippine Pediatric Dental Society Incorporated, and Doc Juan for inviting me to be part of the 28th Annual Convention Pre-Congress as I share relevant information on preventive dentistry in children during this pre-Congress. As I begin, I would just like to declare that the views expressed in the scientific presentation are my own in alignment with evidence-based dental practices. Okay, so let's have a look first on the current status of dental caries in the Philippines before we get to the debunking part of the common misconception in the oral health of children. According to the National Monitoring and Evaluation Dental Survey conducted by the Department of Health in 2011, over 83 million Filipinos are suffering from tooth decay. That's about 92.4% of Filipinos. Now, according to the National Oral Health Survey in 2006, 97.1%, or about roughly 98% of Filipino children suffer from tooth decay by the time they reach the age of 6. So it's quite alarming. Now, let's look at how this happens. No, during our lifetime, upon birth, no, our oral cavity is sterile, and soon it's colonized by facultative and aerobic organisms. But when the tooth emerges, no, by the age of 6 up to 12 months, the first tooth comes out of the mouth. The environment increases in complexity, wherein different microorganisms come into play. It becomes a new habitat because of added hard surfaces and gingival crevice where they can thrive. And Berkowitz in 1985 mentioned that microorganism establishes itself in the mouth after teeth are present. So, just a brief review of the pathogenesis of caries. It starts with a susceptible tooth surface, and it needs a biofilm formation and microbial deposits where acid production and change in pH will commence. After which, there'll be a change in dynamic equilibrium of minerals. hence the demineralization of the minerals in the enamel of teeth, and progresses to the initiation of caries. The initial carious lesion appears as an opaque white spot on the enamel, leading to the progressive demineralization and eventual cavitations of the teeth. Commonly, it is found in the cervical area of the teeth. As you can see in the photo, these white spots are near the gum line. No? So hindi natin to we cannot mistake it for other anomalies of the enamel because white spots are particularly seen on these areas near the gum line. So, caries is a biofilm plaque-induced acid demineralization of the enamel mediated by saliva, and it is a highly prevalent chronic disease which causes a lot of pain and suffering. And it has been a public health concern in both developed and developing countries. And according to the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry, early childhood caries is defined as the presence of one or more decayed, failed, or missing tooth surfaces in any primary tooth in a child. ECC happens from 6 years old and below. 3 to 5 years old happens early childhood caries when there's one or more decayed, missing, failed tooth, smooth surface, primary, maxillary, anterior teeth, and below 3 years old when ECC happens, that is categorized already as severe. It can result in considerable suffering, pain, reduction of quality of life of affected children, and even disfigurement, and can frequently compromise their future dentition. When defined as at least one affected primary tooth in 1 to 3 year old children, prevalence of ECC have varying ranges. The prevalence of ECC and other oral diseases continue to be a public health issue around the globe as well as in our country. 0 to 9% in Western developed countries, and 36 to 85% in the Far East Asia. Now let's take a look at the early childhood caries in the Philippines. Oral health of Filipinos has remained poor in general. The prevalence rate of caries has remained high, above 95% from 1982 to 1988, according to the national survey. However, it was noticeable that it was reduced to 87.4% in 2011. The reality is that caries does not impact on people unless it causes pain, discomfort, functional limitations, disability, or handicap. So, how it affects the life of the Filipino children is what matters the most. Like, for example, toothache. It's one of the primary causes of being absent in school. So, what are the costs? We have decay in permanent teeth. It affects the speech. It affects nutrition. It affects body image. And it's very costly when it comes to dental treatments. A noteworthy journal mentioned that it is worth noting that caries severity, let me go back to my slide. Caries severity in primary teeth is a predictor for caries experience in the permanent dentition. And ECC is not only a problem for children and their families, but also a public burden and a threat globally. And therefore, public health approaches are required to tackle ECC. Okay. So I clicked on the previous slide. So let me just, okay. There. So Where does it all begin? Again, the etiology of the condition of early childhood caries is a combination of frequent consumption of fermentable carbohydrates, the oral colonization by carriogenic bacteria, especially the strep mutans, and of course, poor oral hygiene. But in most cases, the etiology will be a combination, no, of several of these factors. It cannot be singled to only one. Now, despite preventive programs of the Department of Health, DepEd, and other local government units, dental caries is still unfortunately rampant among school children. And we cannot discount the fact that dietary habits is one of the attributed factors of ECC, and sugar is seen as one of the main culprits. I came across a study, dental caries and sugar consumption among school children in the Philippines, and they looked into the sugar consumption for 6 to 11-year-old children. A survey was made using a food frequency questionnaire, and these were determined. They listed commonly consumed snacks, and it appeared that school children, love to eat hard candies. Yan. Banana Q with brown sugar, kamote Q, soft drinks, etc., etc. Powder juice or even juices in Tetra Packs, etc., etc. Okay. Um, in that study, they found out that the mean total sugar intake was about 59 kilograms per day per school child among the 6 to 12-year-old school children in Benguet. And this might be due to the increased availability of sugary snacks in school and nearby stores. So madaling bilhin. It's so accessible. Also, the fact that children stay in school for long periods of time and these snacks are the most affordable for them to buy, hence resulting to increased prevalence of caries. Now, taken together, this study showed that dental caries is attributed to the increased availability of sugar. Now, if um, if they found out that 59 grams of sugar were consumed per child per day, World Health Organization recommends about 24.4 to 30 grams per day of sugar consumption, and that's about twice as high, okay, of what is only recommended. Now, the good news is that dental caries is a preventable and a reversible infectious disease. But how are we able to do that? Of course, we have to apply preventive strategies. We have primary prevention, under which are the H1 dental visit, which is recommended by the American Dental Association, pediatric dentists, pediatricians, Public Health Association. And we need to establish dental home in order to have this ongoing anticipatory guidance. We need to understand that the normal flora of the mouth serves as foundation for the development of preventive strategies. So basically, our main objective is not to eliminate all the dental flora, but to suppress with the cardiogenic bacteria within the flora. So this is where primary prevention comes in. Now, the secondary prevention consists of oral hygiene, measures that should be implemented no later than the time of eruption of the first primary tooth. Diet, okay? Diet plays a very important role. Dietary habits. Good dietary habits, I mean. Fluoride, no? Optimal use of fluoride. It's a natural occurring element and has been instrumental in the widespread decrease in dental caries. The mechanism of fluoride are both topical and systemic, with evidence pointing to a greater topical effect. Okay, so having said all those basics, let's dig deeper into the misconceptions when it comes to the prevention and control of oral diseases in children. Now, there are a lot of questions in the minds of parents related to primary teeth. Various misconceptions are also prevalent in the society about the teeth of young children. And as dentists, we come across various questions that are repeatedly asked other than the chief complaint of the patient. Or sometimes we bump into silly, for the lack of a better term, no, silly statements in social media by moms and dads, mostly moms, no. So women are more active in social media about oral health issues of their children. Now, I myself, I belong to several mommy groups, and I come across different statements by moms, most of which are um, evident of them being misinformed. So we are going to discuss some of the most misperceived notions of parents related to their child's oral health. Are the parents related to their child's oral health, and hit the facts straight so we can better educate them about the prevention and control of oral health issues in children. Okay, I'd like to just define a few terms, myths and misconceptions. Of course, um, it's not really the myth that we're going to discuss, but more of misconception. Because myth is like a fictional story. Pero basically, what we're trying to emphasize here is that the statements are like expressed as false ideas, and it's more of misconceptions that we want to really address. It's the wrong or inaccurate ideas or conception, or the common or popular misconception which conflicts with scientific view. So misconception is basically an idea that is not correct and is perceived inaccurately. It is a fact about something that people believe that is true, but does not fully coincide with scientific views. So there are so many words to um, relate to misconceptions, like synonyms like fallacies, errors, mistakes, delusion, misunderstanding, misinterpretation, so on and so forth. So, misconception, is it true? Of course, mis nga, di ba? Misconception. So, it's false. So, we're going to um, say the facts versus the misconceptions. So, true versus false. So, just for the sake of making things a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna use a little light words like, is it true? Tumpak, pak, ganun, no? Or ligwak. Honestly, ligwak it's something that I discovered, or maybe masyado lang akong nanonood ng Showtime. Okay, so ligwak is not a slang word, no. There's really a word ligwak in Filipino, which means spilled or spill out. However, I think this word became popular as a street word with a vast meaning, ligwak, which can mean loose, wrong, or it can be used as a synonym to other Filipino word like sablay, which means wrongly done. Okay, so I'm gonna use that word lang just to like, okay, pak, correct, or mali, ligwak, wrong. Okay. So case in point number 1, let's tackle oral hygiene. Let me share with you guys some of the things that I came across, especially ngayong pandemic, no. Mas marami akong nababasa na misconception sa social media, sa mommy groups, mga forums, no, mga chat groups and so on. Let me read it one by one. One mom said, "It is not important to care for baby teeth. They will be replaced anyway." So hindi lang to sa social media, we also hear that from our patients in the clinic, no, or from some of our friends or relatives. Okay, as long as nagtutoothbrush ang anak ko, hindi na siya magkaka-tooth decay. Okay, galing. Kaya nang mag-toothbrush mag-isa yung anak kong 4 years old. Actually, hindi lang to sa social media. I've also heard that a lot of times from the parents of my patients. Okay, so it's common for families to hear from other people how baby teeth are not important since they fall out anyway. Sadly, um, it's very contestable. The statement is completely false. Skipping on dental care in the child's early years can result in major issues in the future. Parents should keep in mind that baby teeth act as placeholders for adult teeth, and losing them fast due to poor oral health or poor oral care can result to a lot of oral health issues. Ligwak, di ba? So all of these statements are false. We need to identify the facts and the truths about it, which are evidence-based, so that we can properly educate our patients. What are the effects of caries in young children? It's high risk for new carious lesion. There will be problems with eating and sleeping. There will be decreased oral health quality of life, oral health related quality of life. Toothache may impact on growth, hospitalizations, and emergency room visits. It would really mean expensive dental treatments, loss of school days, diminished ability to learn, and affect body image. So, okay. Baby teeth matter. Need we say more? Baby teeth are very important to a child's health and development. We cannot reiterate it even more. Okay. Early dental care is really essential in establishing and maintaining optimal oral health in children. Hindi pwedeng okay lang yon, hindi pwedeng mapapalitan naman. It's very important. That's why we need to tell the parents and caregivers to really begin to establish regular dental care at infancy and continue it through adolescence and into adulthood. Tumpak! Okay? So, correct na correct. Oral hygiene measures should be implemented no later than the time of eruption of the first primary tooth. No? So how is it done? Twice a day brushing with soft toothbrush, with age-appropriate fluoride toothpaste. And of course, parents should assess and supervise their children when it comes to brushing their teeth. It's assisted for infants and toddlers or preschoolers and young school-age children, parents supervised. Okay. So again, another one, brushing is not enough. Okay, brushing alone is not enough. And let me just add to when it comes to oral health, oral care for infants. It's also very important, even at the time that their teeth hasn't erupted yet, to at least clean the gums with cloth, gauze or washcloth. And that at the time of newly erupted teeth, they may be cleaned using a cloth also and fluoride, with the age-appropriate fluoride. Okay, so correct. Tumpak. No, ayan si ate. Di ba? Ang ganda pa ng smile niya. And then another fact on oral hygiene, this is very common. It's a no-brainer. Napakadaling i-memorize. Kailangan pa bang i-memorize yan? Brush teeth twice a day for 2 minutes. Best to brush after breakfast and before sleeping. And of course, the no rinsing after brushing. It's supported by studies that non-rinsing and the amount of fluoride toothpaste used play an important role in raising salivary fluoride and prolonging remineralization levels. So we want the fluoride to stay longer on the inside the mouth and adhere longer on the enamel for it to be more effective. Tumpak. Okay. Correct. Check. Okay. Next, case in point number 2, fluoride. Some parents may be concerned that fluoride is dangerous for the children, and to allay their fears, direct parents to studies that prove quite the contrary. So that's what we're gonna do in this discussion. Let me read. Mas maganda ang fluoride-free toothpaste for my 1-year-old child. Fluoride is not safe for babies or small children. Hindi maganda ang fluoride sa anak ko. Cancerous siya, nabasa ko sa internet. Okay, the internet has the amazing ability to provide information at the click of the mouse, but or at the tap of a finger, but it can also be a wealth of misinformation. And being aware of common misconceptions can help us counter them with evidence-based facts. We have to be prepared to address the following concerns of the parents of our patients, especially about fluoride. So, kasi maraming fears dyan eh. So, isa pa, pag nalunok ng anak ko yung toothpaste na may fluoride, delikado yata yun. Ang dami talagang takot na takot sa fluoride. Ligwak, mali. No? Let's set the record straight when it comes to fluoride. So fluoride is a compound of fluorine. It's found everywhere. It's found in plants, food, human calcified structure, which has a nutrient benefit to dental health. Teeth and skeleton have the highest concentration of fluoride due to the affinity of fluoride to calcium. And it is found in saliva at 0.01 parts per million, which plays a part in the maintenance of fluoride concentrations in the outer layer of the enamel. Okay, so while there are multiple components of preventive dental programs, which we have for our patients, perhaps none is as important and effective as the appropriate use of fluoride. And we have several options for optimizing the fluoride exposure in our patients, especially in young children, as we are talking of preventives here. So, in the optimal use of fluorides, it is a fact, no, that the mechanism is both systemic and topical. It inhibits demineralization, it enhances remineralization, and it inhibits plaque bacteria. Okay, there's this caries resistance concept that says upon tooth formation, fluoride steps in, thereby producing the caries resistance. But the treatment strategy is that systemic fluoride renders the enamel less soluble, but the current philosophy is that topical fluoride has a post-eruptive effect. Before a tooth erupts, no, systemic fluoride present in the sac, no, the sac that fluid-filled sac that envelopes the tooth, strengthens the enamel of the developing tooth. No? During the tooth formation, it provides caries resistance. And the systemic incorporation of systemic fluoride is actually a long life or a lifelong protection. And the more fluoride is incorporated, the better the cariostatic effect. Now, the current philosophy is that the caries-reducing effect of fluoride is from its presence during active caries development, when the tooth has already come out in the mouth, like when it has already erupted, to alter the dynamics of demineralization and remineralization. So after eruption, fluoride continues to enter the enamel and alters the structure of the enamel crystals. And Fedorskov in 2004 mentioned that emphasis is placed on systemic caries protection effect of fluoride has waned significantly. It appears that teeth erupting during a period of fluoride supplementation receive a measure of caries protection that will most likely be topical in nature. So a brief overview or review of fluoride action is that fluoride effect is largely topical. So at low levels, it inhibits demineralization and it enhances remineralization. At high levels, it inhibits bacterial enzymes. In 2011, PPDSI released a fluoride guideline, the fluoride recommendation. And let's look into the fluoride toothpaste frequency, concentration, and amount. You can actually download this or check this at the PPDSI website, ppdsi.org.ph. Okay. So, when it comes to toothpastes, what is the best toothpaste nga ba? The AAPD recommends that it has to have at least 1,000 to 1,500 parts per million fluoride. Now, the amount of fluoride in toothpaste contained in fluoride, the amount of fluoride in toothpaste should be indicated in the tube. Although this information may sometimes be hard to locate. Minsan, ang liliit pa ng sulat. It may appear after the label active ingredient or as a component under ingredients on the toothpaste tube. Whereas previous fluoride content was given as percent of volume, percent weight per volume, or percent weight per weight. But it is now accepted that the most efficient method of informing people of the amount of fluoride in toothpaste is to give the parts per million fluoride. ppmf yung nakikita natin. Hirap kasi maintindihan yung percent volume per weight or percent weight per weight. So, most manufacturers now give fluoride content sa tubes ng toothpaste in ppm fluoride. It's easier to understand. It's more effective at preventing tooth decay at higher fluoride concentrations. So we cannot accept it's already proven in studies that below 1,000 is already ineffective or not that quite effective. But if needed for therapeutic reasons naman, toothpastes with more than 1,500 ppm fluoride are also available, but may be obtained only with a prescription. But for young children, 1,000 to 1,500 ppm fluoride is the best. So here we can see how it is lang written in percent weight per weight and in ppm. So for sodium fluoride, 1,500 ppm fluoride rate per weight is 0.32%, and the 1,000 parts per million fluoride is weight per weight is 0.22%. And for sodium monofluorophosphate fluoride, the 1,500 ppm has 1.14% weight per weight. And for the 1,000 ppm fluoride of sodium monofluorophosphate, phosphate is 0.76% weight per weight. Now, how much is too much? Fluoride is not toxic if given in proper amounts. Fluoridated toothpaste is recommended, di ba? Upon initial tooth emergence during infancy and throughout life. And we do not recommend fluoride-free training toothpaste. Dami niyan. From tooth emergence until the age of 3, a grain of rice-sized or dab amount of fluoride toothpaste should be used to brush teeth both morning and night. And for children, 2 to 5 years old, older than 3 years, or when a child can effectively spit, that's the condition, if they can spit, a pea-sized amount of fluoride toothpaste should be applied morning and night. We need to really emphasize this as very, very important. The children should be encouraged to spit after brushing. And post-brushing, rinsing with water should be limited to provide optimal fluoride exposure to the teeth from the exposure. Of course, then again, just like any other medications, fluoride toothpaste should be kept out of reach of small children. Okay? Twice daily use of fluoridated toothpaste using a soft toothbrush of age-appropriate size is advised. So we can see here from the different photos of how much are we going to give to the children depending on their age. When it comes to children, school-age children, 6 years old and above, we can give them the ribbon-sized toothpaste which fills the full bristles of the toothbrush. Um, but we still recommend no rinse and just spitting after brushing. Um, then again, when it comes to brushing their teeth, it should be parent assisted for infants and toddlers and parent supervised for school aged children. Now let's go to fluorosis. What about it? Um, we just have to tell our patients, enamel, or the parents of our patients. Enamel fluorosis is a condition which can vary from minor white spots to unsightly yellow or brown discoloration of the enamel due to excessive intake of fluoride. So let us take this into consideration, because young infants and children under the age of 2 can swallow most, if not all, of the toothpaste when brushing. No? So there's been a concern that the use of fluoride toothpaste containing 1,000 to 1,500 ppm fluoride could give rise to enamel fluorosis of the permanent, of the front, especially the anterior permanent incisors. But in response to concern over enamel fluorosis, uh, some manufacturers, market their toothpastes with less than the minimum effective amount, like below 1,000. And the effectiveness of these low fluoride in preventing caries is not established. So, what has been shown by a number of systemic reviews is that toothpaste with a low fluoride concentration are less effective than toothpaste with standard 1,000 to 1,500 parts per million fluoride at preventing caries in permanent teeth. So, even if we have this amount of fluoride in our toothpaste, fluorosis can only happen if we give in excess. So then again, if we just follow the proper dispensing of toothpaste, then it should not be a problem. Here we have a sample prescription of fluoride toothpaste. Why do we have to prescribe? We can do it verbally naman. Sometimes when it comes to our patients, mas naaalala nila if we write it down, no? There's no excuse for them not to follow our instructions. So we can do this, write it down, so that they will also be less inclined to be scared of the probable toxicity or toxic effect of fluoride in their children. Kasi nga, we emphasize that we have to dispense the appropriate amount according to the age of the child. So for example, a 2-year-old male, we recommend 1,000 parts per million fluoride because he's not able to spit yet. So we write there, apply rice grain size amount on toothbrush day and night before sleeping. And for an 8-year-old male, we write down full length on toothbrush, brush at least 2 minutes. And this is a school age child, so just spit, no rinsing, brush day and night before sleeping. So fluoride is safe and effective when used properly and in appropriate doses. That's a fact. Okay. Now, case in point number 4, diet. Most parents assume that sugar is the root cause of all dental problems in children. While this assumption is not wrong, it's entirely not true. The leading cause of tooth decay is not sugar alone, but the amount of time the sugar stays on the surface of the mouth. So that's just a preview now. Let's take a look into some of the misconceptions. I give sweet snacks to my child whenever he likes to eat because he's always hungry. Okay. So, laging kumakain yung bata. You can just imagine, no? Laging kumakain every hour, whenever my daughter eats snacks, especially pag sweets, I just let her drink lots of water para ma-wash off yung sugar sa teeth. Okay. So mali, di ba? That's a misconception that we have to correct. Frequent eating of snacks more than 2 to 3 times a day is the culprit for caries in children. The challenges usually encountered when it comes to the dietary habits of children. Okay, here. This is my son. Okay. That's my son, by the way. So yun nga eh. We feed him, they get obese, frequent eating, no? The challenges usually encountered when it comes to dietary habits of young children are consumption of sticky sweets and the frequency of snacking. We will tackle that more. What's in the diet ba? What are they eating? So we have different foods that causes decay. We have the high potential for decay. We have the moderate potential for decay. We have foods that give low potential for decay. There are foods that give no potential to decay. And of course, we have foods that have the ability to stop decay. Vegetables have high fiber content. It stimulates flow of saliva. It rinses remaining sugar. Other fruits which have high sugar content, like apples, have high fiber and water in them, enough to balance the sugar effects. Okay, let's focus on the good ones. Cheese. Cheese has calcium and phosphorus and increases salivary production. Our mouth's natural way to maintain baseline acidity level due to the act of chewing. And of course, research has shown it's best if after a meal or a sugary meal. Xylitol or the chewing action as well, and xylitol is our good sugar. Now, when we chew, it stimulates salivary flow also. Nuts. Okay, let me go back to my slide there. Nuts has the ability to stop decay also, because eating a handful can also stimulate production of saliva. It contains protein, calcium, and phosphorus, which are all good for the enamel. Okay, now let's look into the Stefan curve. This is a Stefan curve. It was made by Dr. Robert Stefan, who measured the changes in plaque acidity following sugar intake. Okay, so if we're gonna look at the picture, okay, I'm having problems with my remote. Oops, sorry about that. Let me just. Okay, so we can see here in the diagram that when we're not eating, the pH of our mouth remains at the neutral state, which is around 6.5 to 7. And minutes after sucrose rinse, it drops at about a critical level of 5 to 5.5. But after around 15 to 20 minutes, pH goes back to the normal state. No, so when it drops, it of course it enhances demineralization, and then when it spikes up back again to the neutral state, it enhances remineralization. So he was able to determine what happens when we eat. So here, this drawing here shows what happens when we eat frequently. No? If you can see how the pH drops frequently. So frequently drops in the pH of our mouth means frequent demineralization. So there's no time for the pH of the mouth to recover because there's too much acid attack. Okay, so we all know that pH is a measure of how acidic something is, and the more acidic something is, the lower the pH, and the more harmful it is to our teeth. And the pH of our spit is usually right around 7.1. That's normal. This is slightly basic as opposed to acidic. And at this pH, our teeth are safe, happy, and healthy. And when we eat carbohydrates or sugars, the plaque on our teeth produce munch on them, and they produce acid byproduct, and this acid lowers the pH in our mouth. And if the pH drops below 5.5, our teeth starts dissolving. So there, a less healthy Stefan curve. You can see so many drops in the pH. So when the child eats snacks frequently, minsan mas madami pa dyan eh. You can just imagine how high the acid attack is in the mouth, especially when the foods that he's eating is not healthy and it's not good for the teeth. It's noteworthy that we mentioned that in a journal, it has been proven that cheese virtually abolishes the usual fall in pH associated with sugar consumption. So we go to diet counseling. So what do we tell our patients? Decrease the frequency of carcinogenic substrate ingestion so that we can prevent caries. No, wag laging kain ng kain. So to prevent high acid attack. Parents and children should be encouraged to avoid eating between meal snacks that contain carcinogenic substrates. Okay. Chewing of sugarless gum or xylitol gum is very good. In addition, infants should be weaned from the bottled formula milk by 1 year old to eliminate their risk for early childhood caries. And they shouldn't really be trained to drink milk from the bottle at nighttime. Okay, correct. Case in point, number 4. I think the previous one was number 3 and this one is number 4. Breast milk and formula bottle feeding. I breastfeed my 3-year-old son and he still has cavities. I thought breast milk is anti-cavity. I guess it's not true at all. Di naman pala totoo sabi. And then, my daughter shouldn't have cavities because I brush her teeth before sleeping. And then she feeds with formula milk in the middle of the night. So, tinutbrushan niya. Tapos, paiinumin niya ng formula milk during the night. So, that's very, very wrong, no? Some truths about breastfeeding. Our breastfeeding it may help, no? Syempre, in the development of good dental occlusion, but of course, we have to consider genetics pa rin. It reduces risk for early childhood caries due to prolonged nighttime bottle feeding, but there is still risk for having cavities. We all know that breast milk is very, very good. It's liquid gold. It has fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water, enzymes, and antibodies. It's basically truly everything that babies need in the first 6 months of life. And there are a lot of postulated benefits of breastfeeding as proven by research. Um, so, when it comes to breastfeeding, it shouldn't be said na dapat hindi siya nagkakaroon ng cavity, especially kapag medyo malaki-laki na yung bata. Some kids kasi, they breastfeed up until they're 4 or 6 years old. So, okay, nag-breastfeed yung bata, but bakit may cavities? Because you have to consider, hindi lang breast milk ang kinakain ng bata or iniinom eh. Remember, baby starts feeding at the age of 6 months. You start to introduce solid foods by that time, and thereby you are already exposing the child to possible threat to deminization of their enamels, especially yung mga maagang tinutubuan ng ngipin at 6 months. And if the parent is not careful about the kinds of food that they're going to give their children, even if they're breastfeeding their child, the child can still have the risk for having cavities. So there. These are the truths, Tumpak. Okay, so case in point number 5, dental visits. I know it's best to bring my child to the dentist when there's a problem lang with his teeth. Okay, sige. Itong magulang na to either sobrang busy niya, okay? Or medyo baka siya rin, ganun din ang panuntunan niya sa buhay, pupunta lang siya sa dentist kapag may problema, no? So, okay, so that's so sad. And ito pa, I don't need to bring my child regularly to the dentist. It's so expensive. Ayan, nako, napaka-common yan. Nagre-reklamo ang mga parents for, costly dental treatments. Well, bakit kaya? Diba? So, it's only baby teeth. Again, parang yung case in point number 1 natin. Mapapalitan din naman yan, hindi ko na kailangan dalhin sa dentist ang anak ko. Hindi ko alam kung sa sobrang pagtitibid ba ito or talagang inherent misconception na passed on from one generation to another. No? Gone are the days where, children's teeth are taken for granted. It is the time now that we have to really emphasize that baby teeth are very important. I could not even reiterate it even more. Okay, so there, it's wrong. Oops, sorry about that. So the point of view is that, let me go back. Old paradigm is that, yun nga pag puno na yung ngipin ng baby teeth ng bata, doon lang dinadala sa dentist. Yun yung dating kaisipan ng mga magulang. But the American Academy of Pediatric Dentistry, even PPDSI, recommends the child's first visit be at the time of eruption of the first tooth and no later than 12 months of age. So, pinaka-safe is first birthday. Okay? The first visit allows for the establishment of a dental home. So, bakit first birthday? Kasi by that time, either, let's say, kung 6 months unang tinubuan ng ngipin, yung bata, yung lower anteriors and the upper anteriors, let's say you're gonna see around 4 to 8 teeth, no? And well, by that time, host na yan for a lot of bacteria and nagsusolid food na yan, yung bata. We really have to emphasize that they have to be seen by the dentist by that age. Actually, yung anak ko, tinubuan siya ng ngipin by 12 months. Medyo na-traffic, no? Hindi lumabas kaagad. Well, isa sa mga factors for delayed eruption is preterm birth. And my son is late preterm. So I guess, but then okay naman, lumabas silang 4, sabay-sabay yan. Ayaw nila ng isa-isa silang lumabas. Sila, mga besties, mga beshies. So sabay-sabay sila lumabas at 12 months. So tamang-tama pa rin, first birthday, dali ng bata sa dentist. So what are the facts on dental visits? Parents should be encouraged to find a dental home for their child at the age of 1. And with this allows children to be examined early and caries risk assessment is made in a timely fashion. So we check if the child is at risk for caries. And early visits enable clinicians or dentists to begin educating the parents and caregivers on the benefits of good oral health. And also, it minimizes caries risk and creates good oral health practices early in the life of the child, therefore, can prevent the need for costly treatment later. So, how can it be expensive kung we do preventives at a very young age? Nagiging mahal lang siya kung talagang hinintay mong masira yung, imagine, sometimes we encounter full mouth rehab on a 2-year-old child. So that's really sad, no? Halos ubos na. Wala nang natira. So if you bring the child, when we encourage parents to bring their child at the very young age, this can all be prevented. And studies have shown that poor oral health can lead to poor overall health as well as poor performance in school. And these early visits to the dentist can actually help create a happy, healthy, and successful child. No? So sana all, dapat all. So equity or impartialness cannot wait. That's the theme of, I believe that's the theme of this year's annual convention of PPDSI. Yes, tumpak. And okay, so just to mention what a dental home provides, kasi dental home is the ongoing relationship between the dentist and the patient. So the earlier you bring your child, the earlier you bring the child to the dentist, the better that relationship is established. Ano bang meron doon? It's inclusive of all aspects of oral health care delivered in a comprehensive, continuously accessible, coordinated, and it's family centered. No? Continuity of care actually is a key component of dental home, which is why it is very important that parents have a place to take their child on a regular basis. Ha? Hindi lang yung once a year or once in a blue moon, pag feel lang nila or kasi naka-leave sila, hindi ganun. It's on a regular basis depending on the risk of the child, wherein we do routine examinations, cleanings, and of course, when an emergent situation arises. All right, thank you very much. I hope I was able to enlighten most, if not all of you. And I cannot discuss all of the misconceptions. We just focused on preventive dentistry in young children. Please do encourage yourselves to really educate the parents of your patients because lalo na ngayon, this time of pandemic, in as much as we encourage establishing a dental home, dental visits, medyo delikado pa to bring the child to the clinics right now. So we strongly emphasize good oral care at home. All right. Thank you very much for your attention. Have a nice day. Uh, have a very great convention. We have a few more days, no? I think 1 week, no, roughly. Thank you very much, PPDSI and Doc Juan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jem. That was indeed enlightening. Medyo madami talagang misconceptions going around, and I can just imagine the patient that it would take for you to answer those misconceptions, especially in those mommy groups. There are some of mommies talaga na minsan it's hard to explain to them. So thank you for that. I have a few questions for you, Dr. Jem. Are you ready? Sorry, we cannot find Dr. Jem. Okay. Before we ask Dr. Jem, let me remind everybody to please watch it via My Meds because if you are watching through YouTube, you won't be able to get your certificate of attendance. So please log in to your My Meds account and then click on the sessions so that way you can watch it via the session hall. Yeah, and welcome back, Dr. Jem. We lost you for quite a while there.
Sorry, yun na nga medyo intermittent yung internet connection here. So, I'm back. Hello, Dr. Weng. Hello, hello everyone.
Hello. Yes. Okay, Dr. Jem, I have a few questions for you. Okay.
Yes.
First question. Okay, first question.
Uh-huh.
There are high concentration fluoride toothpaste around. Yung mga prescription fluoride toothpaste na mga around 5,000 ppm. When do you prescribe this? Or when do you recommend this to your patients?
Okay, of course, since this is a very highly concentrated fluoride, we don't really advise it over the counter. It's really strictly prescribed fluoride, and it's only recommended for patients who really need the maximum effect of this content of fluoride. Like for example, orthodontic patients, patients who have a high history of cavities, patients with dry mouths, and other compromises in terms of the need in their oral health. So we don't we don't recommend it to young children, no. But yeah, there is, and it's only prescribed fluoride.
Okay. Another question, Dr. Jem. What can you say about those
Yes.
who brush their teeth upon waking up and then a few hours later will have their breakfast and then syempre they wouldn't brush their teeth anymore. So what do you advise
Mhm.
those people feeling nila it's clean na because they brushed right after waking up?
Yeah, actually that's very actually parang siya controversial in the sense na ano ba talaga ang goal mo? Is it cosmetic? Are you brushing your teeth for the sake of removing the foul smell or the bad odor brought about by the food that you ate? Or are you there to remove the smell of
Um,
if
Dr. Jem,
you
we kind of
eat?
lost your audio. Okay. Dr. Jem, can you repeat that? We kind of lost your audio there.
Food. Hello. Yeah, am I back?
Yeah, okay, you're back. Can you repeat that, Dr. Jem?
Am I
Sorry,
back?
you got.
Okay.
Yes, yes, you're back.
Okay. Sorry. As I was saying, it's a little bit parang contestable. It's preference naman talaga of whether you want to brush before you eat or you want to brush after eating. Because again, what's your goal ba in brushing? You want to just freshen your breath, remove the smell of from the food that you ate. No, gusto mong kasi 'di ba toothpastes have this fresh flavor. Or what do you want to remove? Biofilm, no? Actually, it makes more sense if you brush before breakfast. Kasi tatanggalin mo na yung biofilm eh. So basically, the substrates won't have that much, environment to thrive na para magkaroon ng maraming basically, it really doesn't matter as long as you're able to remove the
Oh, I think we lost Dr. Jem again. Okay, basically, Dr. Jem was saying that it's okay to brush your teeth before, as soon as you wake up, because it will remove some of the biofilm that would make also the substrate lose some of their attachments to your teeth. So I hope we can get Dr. Jem back. Okay, I can't hear anything from Dr. Jem, but all right. I have another question for her, but before that, while waiting for Dr. Jem, again, just a reminder, please log in through your MyMeds so that way you can have your certificate of attendance. Again, watching over YouTube, you won't have any access to your certificate of attendance. And please do visit our traders. Our trade exhibit hall is already open. You can click it anytime. Actually, it's open 24 hours a day. So anytime you feel like looking at some of the products and maybe like you need some things here and there, you can just go to our sponsors, to our trade exhibitors, and then look at their products, add it to your cart, just fill in some of the details that they need, and you can pay via credit cards or they do also cash on deliveries. So you can do that and then just wait for the products to be delivered in the comforts of your home. Again, I'm not sure if Dr. Jam would be able to come back. I really hope she can. But okay, before that, by the way, if you were logged in before the start of the session, we were hearing very nice, lively music. Okay, it was a composition by a dental student from UE, Mr. Rafi Verata. He came from a family of dentists. I think he's already the third generation dentist in their family. It was an entry to the competition entitled Week Sample Flip, and it won first prize. So congratulations, Dr. Rafi, and thank you so much for letting us use it. It's relaxing, it's fun and relaxing to listen to. Okay, so I don't think I have Dr. Jem yet. Okay, can I introduce already the video from Dr. Prestanagon while waiting for Dr. Jem to join us again? Okay, so let's listen to. I'll start video
To
from
all
Dr.
the distinguished pediatric dentists from Luzon down to the Visayas and Mindanao. It is really an honor for us to be invited in this convention. I would like to thank the organizers of this convention for the invitation. So, I would like to introduce to you Doc One toothpaste, the 100% Filipino-owned and Filipino-made toothpaste. So, what is this toothpaste doing in a dental world dominated by big toothpaste companies? As we all know, 87% of Filipinos suffer from tooth decay. And with that, 97.1% of children suffer from tooth decay by age 6. Sad, but true. That is the only way or the cheapest way to fight early childhood caries, through access to fluoride, and that is a human right. As a high-risk country such as ours, the World Health Organization recommends 1,500 fluoride in toothpaste. But there are only a handful of fluoride toothpaste with this optimum content in the market. If ever, they are expensive, and so with that, Doc One was born. Doc One is committed to bring to the Filipino community dental products that are quality, safe, affordable, and cost-effective. The objectives of the company: prevention of caries for Filipinos with prime consideration that good oral health is a basic human right and inseparable from general health and well-being, where the quality of life can be affected by oral health and diseases. Access to fluoride that is available to all ages, not only young children but also to adolescents, elderly, and the medically compromised with the life cycle approach. Our goals are to deliver dental products that are cost-effective and affordable with the highest standards of quality in preventive dentistry, and to provide and equip doctors, dentists, and allied health professionals the necessary tools in promoting widespread awareness in preventive dentistry, both in public and private practices, through continuing education. Our vision, Doc One, is guided by the noble advocacy of reducing the incidence of caries with high ethical standards and respect for the company, its competitors, and the community. We take pride in excellence, in reputation, commitment to dental caries prevention, support for continuing education among dental practitioners and healthcare professionals. We have a strong sense of belief in social responsibility and, most importantly, the satisfaction from work that will ultimately benefit the community. One adheres to its commitment in the advocacy of battling caries in accordance with ethical conduct and integrity, where the company continues to develop products which is supported by a reputable team that will enable to provide a leading platform of service and advocacy of preventive dentistry to the community. So, product sourcing, we come in 1,500 ppm fluoride toothpaste. We have the 1,000 ppm fluoride toothpaste for kids, therapeutic toothpaste, because we are considered therapeutic toothpaste because it can remineralize early lesions. Fluoride gel for community-based programs. 1,500 ppm is the maximum effective fluoride as recommended by the World Health Organization. It is an anti-cavity toothpaste that has the optimum amount of fluoride that helps prevent tooth decay and protect teeth by strengthening them by bringing back the lost minerals caused by repeated acid attack. Of the 1,000 ppm fluoride toothpaste, this is especially formulated toothpaste for kids that is not too sweet nor minty, but contains the optimum amount of fluoride that children need to protect their teeth strong and healthy. This is preferably for children who cannot speak. We have the 1000 ppm fluoride gel for the whole family. We have the toothbrushes. Well, for inquiries, you may visit our Facebook page, Doc1, or you can contact RJ and CISO, number 0917-847-6225, or our Facebook page, Doc1. So, with the high cost of fluoride toothpaste in the market, Doc1 came up with a solution of providing you with optimum health care at minimal cost. Doc1 is proudly Filipino made. Doc1 is you, Doc1 is me, and together we can help make all Filipinos create better smiles. Good afternoon. Hi, good afternoon to all the distinguished pediatric dentists from Luzon.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Press Tanagon, for Doc 1 fluoride toothpaste. I think we have Dr. Jam back already. I think she's with us right now. Dr. Jam, are you with us?
Hi, I'm back.
Oh, yes. Okay, Dr. Jam, you were saying a while ago. Sorry, your connection got lost. So we lost you there. So you can continue with what you were saying a while ago.
Yeah, we were talking about what's the best time to brush in the morning? Is it before breakfast or after breakfast? I was I, I was mentioning about whether the goal is to freshen the breath or just really reduce the the acid or the caries susceptibility of the teeth. When we brush, we want to remove a biofilm or plaque. So, syempre, before breakfast, wala pa namang biofilm yon. Pero kasi after eating, most of the time, syempre, immediately after eating, mababa pa, bagsak pa ang pH ng mouth. So, we don't want to further induce abrasion caused by the presence of acid or mababang pH. So, I guess it's best before meals, before they eat breakfast. Anyway, since they're using naman the appropriate dose of fluoride, and then it's used again at the end of the day before they go to bed, uh, and with proper diet, they'll have proper protection naman din.
Thank you for that. Actually, that's a good point. But let us remind everybody that that's not also an excuse. So it's better pa din
Yeah.
talaga to brush after, especially pag medyo sticky yung food. Alam mo, breakfast
Yes.
actually kasi, diba, medyo may pastries yung iba, may mga
Yeah.
jam,
Yeah.
which is highly cardiogenic. So
Exactly.
let's not
Tsaka
make it
doc,
an excuse na nag-breakfast at nag-toothbrush na. Tapos, diba, let's make it a habit to brush teeth.
oo. Oo. But of course, syempre yun nga for cosmetic reasons also. Then of course, we're talking about kids di ba? Before they go to school or before they attend their online classes. Minsan nagmamadali, alam mo, at worst, they forget to brush pa nga eh. They don't even brush at all. I've had several patients saying na, nakakalimutin na lang mag-brush sa umaga. So, you know, uh, best to brush pa rin talaga. Even like before eating. Yeah.
Sometimes my son also, kasi di ba they wake up kind of late kasi relax in the house lang eh. So, pag
Mm.
breakfast, takbo in front of the computer, dire-diretso with the class na. So,
Yeah.
but please do not make it as an excuse. Everybody, baka mamaya sabihin nila, sabi okay na eh.
Oo,
So,
yeah. Oo, yes,
okay. Anyways,
definitely.
Dr. Jam, last
Mm-mm.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it also be effective for toothpaste to be reapplied or spread across the teeth and not rinse it out na? This is after you rinse it out after the first brushing.
Okay. So you're saying
initially you want to rinse it out, and then you reapply again, and then you don't rinse anymore.
But
I think,
sorry, I think some people kasi find it icky that they don't get to rinse it off. So I think that is the question here.
yeah, I understand. Kasi 'di ba, kasi ideally, no, we need to floss before we brush. Kasi 'di ba may mga food debris that's stuck in between our teeth. That's why kung diretso brush, tapos spit lang, minsan meron pang mga tira-tira dyan. So some people or most people are uncomfortable without rinsing with water. Pero when it comes to reapplying, Dr. Weng, are we talking of children ba or adults? Kasi with children, um, they don't really complain of, feeling icky. They just spit out and then they follow naman the instruction of parents. But if it's for adults, I find it, personally, it's impractical to put back an additional amount of fluoride. Anyway, you're gonna spit it out naman, you're not gonna swallow. So it's technically, it's not toxic to the body. Pero if it, for their peace of mind, feeling nila na i-rinse off nila lahat ng fluoride, di sige. Pero no need naman talaga, as much as possible. Better siguro, do a better routine. Floss out all the, the whatever's gonna cause the icky feeling before you brush. Kasi brushing, di ba, Dr. Weng, is like polishing your teeth na eh. Just like the professional prophylaxis we get with the dentist. Like what we do. First, we scale first, and then we do brushing, the polishing. Right? So, para less achy, maybe we could floss first before we brush. And then, so that would at least make us feel less icky. So, spit lang and then okay na tayo.
I guess because some people, di ba, we always say that the effectivity of the fluoride is in the amount of time talaga it stays on your tooth, in your
Oo.
teeth. So basically, we're thinking na parang if you rinse it off, you kind of rinse off also the fluoride. So parang some people are compelled to put it parang topical application of fluoride na using their toothpaste. That's why some people would do it. So probably just a little fluoride won't help for them, but won't hurt for them, I guess.
Yeah, but let's not forget, Dr. Weng, we also have naturally occurring, fluoride in our saliva already eh. The fluoride ions are everywhere naman eh. So, ano na lang din, we are re-emphasizing din naman the no rinsing, just spit, no rinsing, para lang talaga, especially for young children eh. Kasi we're really very, what do you call this, parang vigilant in emphasizing preventive measures nga for very young children. So, pagdating sa adults, parang siguro, parang safe to say na meron pa ring fluoride na naiwan from the toothpaste. So, siguro personal preference na rin.
Okay. Kung medyo mayaman sila sa fluoride toothpaste, no? Pag medyo malakas na matipid ng konti, no need really, as per Dr. Jem. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Jem, for enlightening all of us. Sobrang daming misconceptions. And as I said a while ago, I don't know if you heard me, it really takes a lot of patience siguro answering those misconceptions, especially sa mga mommy groups na sinasalihan natin. Sometimes you hear misconceptions na sobrang out of this world. So sobrang thank you for this, because syempre refreshing for everybody to be enlightened again with things like this. And then, so again, Dr. Jem, thank you. And I would like to award you our certificate of appreciation. And our citation reads, hold on, okay.
Thank
This
you.
certificate of appreciation is being awarded to Dr. Jean Marie Senior Martinez in grateful recognition of her participation as guest lecturer and for sharing her expertise and knowledge through the topic Tumpak o Ligwak, Debunking Common Dental Myths and Misconceptions, given this 21st day of March 2021 during the pre-congress of the 28th PPDSI Annual Convention, signed Dr. Maria Teresa Garcia, PPDSA President 2021 to 2023, Annual Convention Overall Chairman,
and Dr. Lavinia Marie Lucido, PPDSI Scientific Committee Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, PPDSI. Thank you, Dr. Wang. Thank you, Doc Juan. And thank you to all the participants who attended this lecture for this afternoon. It's my pleasure, and I'm very, very grateful.
The pleasure is ours, Dr. Jem. I know we took a little time from
No, no, no.
from your child, so
It's part of our advocacy as pediatric dentists to share whatever we can to the community. Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. And now we will go to the awarding of the Certificate of Appreciation to one of our major sponsors, Doc Juan. Okay, okay, can we flash our certificate now? Okay. We have we have RJ and CISO with us. Okay, the Certificate of Appreciation to Doc Juan in grateful recognition of their invaluable support and generous contribution to the 28th PPDSI Annual Convention given this 21st day of March 2021. Signed, Dr. Maria Teresa Garcia, PPDSI President 2021 to 2023, Annual Convention Overall Chairman, and Dr. Lavinia Marie Lucido, PPDSI Scientific Committee Chair. Thank you very much, Doc Juan.
Thank you, PPDSI.
That's Mr. RJ and CISO. Thank you for your contribution and really support for our cause. And you may visit Doc Juan's in the trade hall. You can just click on Doc Juan and you can see all their products. As I've been saying, you can just order any product that you want from them. Yes. Okay. So don't forget you can click on the Doc One trade exhibit in the trade exhibit hall. And then, okay, we're almost done. I would just like to remind you that we have a session again tomorrow. It will start at 5 o'clock in the evening, and this will be for Dolan. And then on March 23, Tuesday, we have the presentation of Pascual Laboratory. And on the 24th, it will be MyMeds PH turn naman to say something about their product. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with us. Do not forget to click in the... Okay, thank you. Here's how you can get your certificate. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.